Hi, I'm Megan Buell, and welcome to another edition of our safety segment. Today I am with Lieutenant Bill Miller. Lieutenant Miller is the PIO for the Tennessee Highway Patrol. Lieutenant Miller, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Tell me, we've got a lot of things coming down the pike. Of course, we work together very closely, daily.
Every day.
Every minute.
Just about.
So, I know we have our big I-40 challenge coming down the pike. Can you tell everyone what's going on and why this initiative is so important?
This initiative is very important because it's actually our 6th annual I-40 challenge, and it all started back under Colonel Trott, and it continues to move forward under Colonel Derek Stewart. The I-40 challenge is where the THP colonel challenges the other 7 states across the nation, from California all the way to North Carolina. The colonel challenges them to put a trooper every 10 to 20 miles on their interstate systems along the I-40 corridor during the Thanksgiving period. This is, as you know, Megan, you've been around law enforcement and highway safety for so many years now that it's the most traveled time of the year.
It is.
And unfortunately, there's a lot of death that takes place during that time of year. So this is why it is important to us, because it's not a cliche for us. THP, Tennessee Department of Safety, Homeland Security, we care about people's safety. Not just the people who live in Tennessee, but the people who visit and travel through this great state. So that's why us putting troopers every 10 to 20 miles on I-40 is so significant, but we're also going to take it a step further. And Colonel Stewart's also putting troopers along every interstate system in the state of Tennessee.
Wow, that is incredible. You know, one of the things you talked about is the I-40 corridor, and who knew that it spans all the way from the east to the west coast?
Correct. It does, and and another very shocking little tidbit of information that I guarantee not very many Tennesseans know about. But the state of Tennessee has more interstate miles for I-40 than any other state in the nation. And I believe it comes down to 450 miles of interstate system. Along with that, this is something you and I talked about the other day. The state of Tennessee is the #1 state in the nation for commercial vehicle truck traffic.
Wow.
And we are the 6th state in the nation for having the most truck traffic generated from this state, or from their home state as a base of travel.
Wow.
So we have a lot of traffic on interstates. So that's why we're doing what we're doing, to make sure that this Thanksgiving and every day in Tennessee is as safe as it can be.
What tips can you give our motorists, to really pay attention and really care about wanting to get to their destination safely?
Well, it's when you talk about fatalities, that's obviously a very sensitive, very painful subject. And as a trooper, I can remember the very first fatality crash that I worked, and I can remember every fatality crash after that. Making that long walk to the door, and that doorway and that sidewalk seems to get further and further away from you as you get closer to it. But you eventually get there to that door, and then you got to knock on that door. And to stand there and have to represent the state of Tennessee is an extremely humble feeling, but it's also a weight that's hard to explain when you're about to tell somebody that the worst news that they could have ever imagined has just happened. So on my uniform, we wear a pin that says 0, and that 0 is the answer to a question that we typically pose to people, and the question is, how many friends or family members in your immediate circle of friends and family, or even in your expanded work zone of friends and family, how many people are you willing to lose to a fatal crash? And the answer clearly is 0. So the message we tell everyone is, buckle your seatbelt. Do not put your car in drive until you put that seatbelt in and engage it, and it is secured as it's supposed to be. Make sure your phone is on a notification system for if anybody were to text you or try to call you, that you're temporarily unavailable. Leave the phone alone. There's nothing on that phone that cannot wait until you get somewhere and get stopped. What are you going to do about it while you're driving? So leave it alone. Leave the phone alone. Put it down. Do not drive distracted in any kind of way, whether it be eating, holding a pet or an animal in your arm, putting on makeup. We see that quite often. We do, and but just simply, that's what we're telling motorists. Do not drive hazardous or reckless. Do not drive distracted or inattentive. Do not drive aggressive.
Right.
And simply just click that seatbelt and leave that phone alone.
Thank you. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you.